the segment. So if you were inspired by anything that was said through the slide presentation, jot it down and bring it so we can hear what it is. Um, there are things that I could have said that you think that I could have said, but I didn't say it. Just understand that God might not have laid that on my heart, but He laid it on your heart. And because He would have laid it on your heart, it's what He would want you to share with us tonight. So it's not about question and answer alone, but it's also some inspired thoughts, some worthy concepts. So, just be prepared to ask a question and share your thoughts. It's not about, who know the answer. It's about can we allow each other to know the answers. That's what we're here to do, to build each other in the faith. Right? All right. With that said, let's get on with Mr. King Saul. The topic for tonight is Saul's public kingship and Saul's first war. The reason why we're using Saul's public kingship is that Saul and Samuel were by themselves when Samuel anointed Saul. But in tonight's session, now you're going to see now that it's not a private affair anymore, it became public. With that said, let's get on with verse 1. Then Nahash, the Ammonite, came up and encamped against Jabesh Gilead. And all the men of Jabesh said unto Nahash, make a covenant with us, and we will serve thee. And Nahash the Ammonite answered them, on this condition will I make a covenant with you, that I may thrust out all your right eyes, and lay it for a reproach upon all Israel. So Nahash is saying, yes, I'll make a covenant with you. I'm gonna dig out your eye. Sorry, I'm gonna dig out your right eye. The guy's like, I don't want to make nothing with you. All right. So the elders of Jabesh said unto him, give us 7 days, that we may send messengers unto all the coasts of Israel. And then if there be no man to save us, we will come out to thee. Now, they are not saying that we'll come out for you to pluck out our eyes. It seems as they are saying that if we can't find anybody if we cannot find anyone to fight for us, we are going to come and fight for ourselves. That's what it sounds like they are saying. Then came the messengers to Gibeah of Saul and told the tidings in the ears of the people. And all the people lift up their voices and they wept. They cried because they're going to lose the people of Gibeah. And behold, Saul came after the herd out of the field. And Saul said, what aileth the people that they weep? And they told him the tidings of the men of Jabesh. Now let's stop a little bit here. Last week, we saw where Saul was anointed by Samuel. You would think by now he would be sitting somewhere waiting to be robed. But if you notice in this verse, Saul came after the herd out of the field. So Saul was still looking after animals, even after he was anointed. And you will realize it's the same pattern with David. When he was anointed, he was still doing his own father's work, right? So Saul came out and he heard and he's asking what's going on. And when Saul heard, the Spirit of God came upon him because of those tidings, and his anger was kindled greatly. This is the first time God is going to be using Saul to carry out his punishment on these people. And he took a yoke of oxen and hewed them in pieces and sent them throughout all the coasts of Israel by the hands of messengers, saying, whosoever cometh not forth after Saul and after Samuel, so shall it be done unto his oxen. And the fear of the Lord fell on the people, and they came out with one consent. While I was studying this passage, I smiled to myself, how different Saul is. Usually somebody might say, if you don't come out and help us, then we're going to burn your house down, then we're going to kill the children, or we're going to kill you if you don't come out to help us. That's not what Saul said. Saul said, if you don't come out, come help us, Your animals are going to get you. We're going to cut up your animal like these animals. Quite a different story with him, right? Let's continue. And when he numbered them in Bezek, the children of Israel were 300,000, and the men of Judah 30,000. And they said unto the messengers that came, Thus shall he say unto the men of Jabesh Gilead, Tomorrow, by that time, the sun be hot, he shall have help. And the messengers came and showed it to the men of Jabesh, and they were so happy to hear that help was on the way. Therefore, the men of Jabesh said, Tomorrow we will come out unto you, and he shall do with us all that seemeth good unto you. So you notice, right, the men of Jabesh Gilead, right, they initially were afraid when they are sent to the threat to them. And now the men of Gibeah know what I've sent now to say, we need help. So help is on the way now. And here the men now of Jabesh, the men of Jabesh, right? They are saying now, right, to Naash's men, the Ammonites. Well, tell you what, tomorrow we will come out to you. We will come out to you. They did not say, we have company coming out to you. They say, we will come out to you, and you will do with us all that you want to do with us. What a bait. What a setup. And it was so on the morrow that Saul put the people in 3 companies, and they came into the midst of the host in the morning watch, and slew the Ammonites until the heat of the day. And it came to pass that they which remained were scattered, so that 2 of them were not left together. That's how decimated they were. And the people said unto Samuel, Who is he that said, Shall Saul reign over us? Bring the men, that we may put them to death. You remember last week when the children of Belial did not respect Saul, did not give him any gift or anything. So now Saul would have won his first war, and those who are around him, his allies, are now saying, "Who said we shouldn't make Saul our king? We want to bring out those persons, and we're going to kill them." Right? So this kind of throwing shades at some other persons from last week. And Saul said, There shall not a man be put to death this day, for today the Lord hath wrought salvation in Israel. You realize Saul seems to be very merciful. He's not going to kill him if they don't come out. He's going to kill the animals. Some people disrespected him last week, and he's saying that we're not going to disrespect them. We're going to chill. God has wrought salvation among us. Salvation is not salvic as in born again. It's about save us from the enemy. And Saul is very cool and kind. But remember that this is not the true Saul. This was a Saul that was turned into another man by God. All right. Then said Samuel to the people, Come and let us go to Gilgal and renew the kingdom there. I said in my preface that in one of our sessions last week or the week before, Saul was anointed by Samuel, but it was a private event. No, Samuel now is making good use of this victory, and he's now saying, let's go to Gilgal and renew the kingdom there. Now we're going to anoint King Saul publicly. All right. And all the people went to Gilgal, and there they made Saul king before the Lord in Gilgal. And there they sacrificed sacrifices of peace offerings before the Lord. And there Saul and all the men of Israel rejoiced greatly. So Saul is now made officially the first king of Israel. I want you to pay attention, right? That all that is happening here where they're doing sacrifices, and Saul and Samuel are, chummy, they're up and good with each other. You'll realize that the end of Saul is going to be about sacrifices also. From last week and the week before, Saul has been exposed to sacrifices. And it's the same thing he's going to be doing, which is he's going to be now trying to offer sacrifices on his own. He would have seen Samuel conducting these services or ceremonies, but he's going to now attempt to do it. but that's going to come up in the future. But pay attention to the pattern. With that said, we are going to be going over to our question and answer segment. Again, it's a short chapter, but if you do have something that you'd like to share from it, we'll be more than happy. Or if you have any question, we'll be more than happy to take those questions likewise. All right, our producers are Jan and Alyssa.
Uncle Lance?
Go ahead, Jan.
All right. We had Jade's hand up. I'm not sure if she's still hoping to talk.
Okay. Oh, we'll be more than happy. Go ahead, Jade.
Sorry, I just did have a question.
Yes.
Why did Saul mention Samuel's name instead of acting solely just on his own authority as a king?
Because Samuel is God's representative. So he's going to respect Samuel.
Oh, so to show like a unity between the God and the prophet.
Yes.
I mean the king and the prophet.
King and prophet.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
correct. And
Okay.
if you notice now, right, in the first instance, Saul was arguing and say, which man will come with Samuel and myself? Then we have now Samuel saying, no, let us go and now anoint Saul. So they are really now friends.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for
You're
clarifying.
so welcome. Please come again with your questions. All right, go ahead, Jan.
All right. We have Sister Sylvia's hand up.
Sister Sylvia, go ahead.
Yes, Uncle Les. Good evening, everyone.
Evening.
2 questions. 1, was Saul a Benjamite?
I am not certain, but he must have been. I think we read somewhere where he was from. He's from Gibeah, Jabesh Gibeah. I think he is a Benjamite, and the reason I'm thinking like that is one of the reasons why they might have rejected him.
Okay. Now, going back to I think it was in Joshua, where the Benjamites, when they raped this young lady.
Right, and that's what we had said.
And cut up her body and sent it to the 12 tribes of Israel.
No, that would have been the Levite who did that.
No, but who did the raping?
The Benjamites, but the cutting of the body was done by Levi, the Levite.
That's right. So I'm kind of seeing like this thing here is a practice amongst them because Saul cut up the oxen.
Right.
And sent it to the different nations. So I'm sort of just connecting.
And you're correct with that perception and that connection because it was something that attracted Israel when the Levite did it.
Yeah.
And now Saul is going to use an animal to do it.
Okay.
And that's a good connection.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks. You're welcome. All right, everybody, please remember that, if you got something you want to share, share it because others would love to hear the answer. I would love to hear the answers too. So, don't believe that the presenter is the only one who studied the chapter. God would have revealed some things to me. He's revealing some things to you too. We're all different members, same body. So we want you to share whether it's going to be a question, or it's going to be a commentary, or something like to in person. So let's keep it going. Go ahead, Jan.
Sister Sylvia. I'm wondering if Sister Sylvia's hand just wasn't.
Oh, maybe you shouldn't retract it.
Yes, we're good.
Thank you, Jen.
You're welcome, Sister Sylvia. All right, from Zoom we have Sister Jared. It's so easy for the children of Israel to want to make a covenant with the Ammonites.
Yes, and as you mentioned, Sister Jared, right? Remember now that the promise prophecy that was given to Abraham in chapter 15 of Genesis was that God was going to take these Israelites out of Egypt, bring them into the land of the Amorites, where the Ammonites and the others are, and God would have now used the Israelites as his instrument of punishment. So Israel is not in the land killing people, killing baby, killing women. They're not doing that. God is the one who said to Abraham, I'm going to use the Israelites as my instrument of punishment. But Israel came over in the land and start to misbehave. And then God used the people to punish Israel, and then he used Israel to punish the people. And Israel keep going after their gods. And in tonight's session, like Sir Jared is saying, right, that the people of Jabesh, they're saying that we'd love to make a covenant with you, when God never bring them over to do that. Show how easy Israel is led away from God. Thanks, Sister Jared. Go ahead, Jan.
All right, Uncle Les. That's all oh, we have one more here.
Mhm.
Is there a similarity between Genesis 15, 9 to 21 and this action by Saul? And I'll get that passage for you, Uncle Les.
That's fine, yeah.
All right. Okay. And it reads,
Mhm.
do you want me to read 9 to 21, Uncle Les?
9 to 21. Yeah, 9 to 21.
Yes.
Let me hear what 9 sounds like.
All right,
This
perfect.
is chapter 15, right? When the covenant is being made between God and Abraham.
Okay.
Right.
And
Let
he
me hear
said
what
on
9.
And
Go
he
ahead.
said unto him, take me an heifer of 3 years old, and a
Right.
she-goat of 3 years old, and a ram of 3 years old, and a turtle dove, and a young pigeon.
And that should be good. That should be fine. So read the last verse now.
All right. 21.
Yeah.
And the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Girgashites, and the
Mhm.
Jebusites. That's it. That's
That's it.
21.
Read the verse before 21. Verse 20.
And the Hittites,
Okay.
and the Perizzites.
All right. Give me 14.
14.
Yeah.
And also that nation
That's the
whom,
verse.
whom they shall serve will I
Yeah.
judge, and
Right.
afterward shall they come out with great substance.
So so in chapter 15, this is where God is making a covenant and an agreement with Abraham that he's going to judge the people in the land. Now, the next verse now, John says he's going to take them out of Egypt, and then go ahead now with the other verse.
And thou shalt go
Mhm.
to thy fathers in peace. Thou shalt be buried in a good old age.
And then the next verse is now where the promise comes in, now that the prophecy comes that I'm going to use them to be my instrument. Go ahead.
But in the 4th generation they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. And
Right. Go ahead.
And it came to pass that when the sun went down and it was dark, behold, a smoking furnace and a burning lamp that passed between those pieces.
And then now we have the list of names that we mentioned from verse 20 and 21. Right. So here's the background to all of what is going on, everybody. And I've heard it so many times that the Israelites have gone into the land and they're killing women and children and they're killing people. Israel is not doing anything. God is using Israel as his instrument of punishment. You notice, right, the verse that John read, that it says that the iniquity of the Amorites is full, or not yet full, but when it will be filled, when it will be full. What the Lord is simply saying in them is that at the time of Noah, God would have judged the people. He would have warned them also, not Noah doing it. And then when it was time, God sent the flood, because this was when the time came. Technically, their probation ended. Not Seventh-day Adventism probation, but their probation ended. And so the same thing is true, that Israel would have spent 400 years in Egypt, and then God is going to judge Egypt. He judged Pharaoh. 10 plagues, death of the firstborn. That is exactly what he said hundreds of years before to Abraham, that the nation that is going to keep Israel as slave, I'm going to judge that nation. Then I'm going to take Israel out, and I'm going to bring them now to the land of the Amorites, because 5 kings were running that Canaanite area. 5 kings, and they call it Amorites. So God is now saying to Abraham, I'm going to use my people to be my instrument of punishment. So Israel was brought into the land, not merely to settle on for milk and honey. They were brought there as God's instrument of punishment. So the actions that they did, it was being done because God is utilizing them. Then Israel fell out a relationship with God and began to serve the people's God. So they did not even complete God's will. And then God used these people not to judge them. And you find that when you think about Samson, Samson was supposed to defeat the Philistines. Samson gone down there because he vexed over one woman. But you notice that Samson, even to his last, he had to fulfill the will of God, even when the billing fell down on him. But the job of Samson was to defeat the Philistine, and it was completed even in his own death. And so the Ammonites were part of the group that was supposed to be punished, and Israel wanted to make covenant with them. So chapter 15 is relative to what goes on into the promised land. Go ahead, Jan.
From Zoom, we have Sister Virgo,
Mhm.
1 Samuel 9, verse 1 to 2, proof that Saul is Benjamite.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, Sister Virgo, for confirming that. Thanks a lot. Anything else here, Jan?
Not right now, class.
Fine. And when you see everybody, right, that Saul is now brought in as a king. Samuel was the last of the judges. So would have Gideon, would have had Deborah, would have had Tola, would have all of these judges. So Israel would have had 15 judges. So they would have gone into the promised land with Joshua. Joshua died, and the elders that came, they were there, and the elders died, and then every man began to do what he wanted to do in the land. So God brought them there to use them, and they turned around now and went against God. So God now raised up different judges amongst them. So Samuel was the last of the judges and the first of the prophets. And Saul now become the first of the kings. So Samuel would have been the last of the judges there. And God did not want Israel to have a king. Israel said they wanted to have a king. And God said to them, if you choose a king, this is what kings do to people. And they chose Saul. Well, God gave them Saul. All right. And of course, the Bible says now that God is going to use Saul, but God is going to change Saul into another man. People, you can look up the word, the Hebrew word for the word change into another man. It's like the guy morph into something else. And if God had to change him into another man to use him, Saul was evil long before the Spirit of God left him. So God would have been trying to temper, soften down Saul's spirit. So the guy wasn't a good guy. And then Saul, you're going to see down the road, right? You're going to see Saul misbehavior. And God said, well, you know, the spirit that I used to turn into another man, I'm taking my spirit away from you. Thus the argument, an evil spirit of the Lord came upon him, which is really a permission because God was once suppressing that evil in him in the first place. So Israel is in the land to do the will of God, and Israel is now serving other gods. And that's why in prophecy, when you talk about biblical prophecy, and a lot of persons say this, that when the Bible talk about the great prostitute or the great whore, especially in the book of Revelation, that it is Rome. It can't be Rome. You see, the entire Bible from Old Testament, God recognized Israel when they're going after other gods as warring after other gods, even though they are married to him, God. Therefore, Rome cannot be a harlot to God, because God never married to Rome. God is married to Israel. And when they go after other gods, this is where now the bad relationship is happening. So for any man to talk about Rome is that harlot of Revelation 17, it can't be so. God was never married to Rome. Right? So God would have changed Jacob's name to Israel, built his own people. He's going to use them as his instrument, but Israel turned against God. Go ahead, John.
We have Sister Ben's hand up, Uncle Us.
Hi, Sister Ben, go right ahead.
Good night, everyone.
Night.
Pastor, I hope I can ask my question in a way that you understand it. Verse 1 of said chapter that we're discussing. While studying this, I just couldn't wrap my head around who is good here and who is bad.
Oh,
Whether
Nahash is the Ammonite. He's technically the bad guy.
all right, he's a bad guy.
And then
Okay.
Jabesh now, he's the guy being attacked by Nahash.
Okay.
But Jabesh is now saying, we don't really want to fight with you, the Ammonites, which is Nahash. So tell you what, make a covenant with us, and then we will come and serve you.
Oh.
These are the people of God surrendering to
Mhm.
Nahash, to the Ammonites.
Okay. All right. Because I was really wondering who is who. It kind of get me. I was
Then,
just
then,
trying to figure out. Pastor, I know I'm alright because you know a while ago you said that Israel wanted to go and serve the gods of the Amorites, and I'm saying yes. Here go again. Why is it that I'm reading this and what I'm getting from it is that the Amorites were the good ones? I don't know.
no. Oh, by the way, but this is the Ammonites now, you know,
Okay.
that you're reading about in 11. But God would have said the Amorites in chapter 15.
Okay. Okay.
So in
Yo,
chapter 15 of Genesis, now the
two
Amorites would
different
have been, go ahead, sorry,
two different words. And okay.
Amorites.
Right.
So
Okay.
the Ammonites would have been the relative of Moab, the son of Lot.
Okay. Okay.
All right. But no, the Amorites now would have been 5 kings that would have governed that area. But so all the other nations, like the Ammonites and the Philistines, they all came underneath the title of the Amorites.
Oh.
You follow?
Yes. Yes.
Right. So the Amorites were not the good guys, and the Ammonites were still not the good
The
guys.
good ones. Right.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Please come again. All right, go ahead, go ahead, Van. Sorry, go ahead, Jan.
All right, Uncle Las, we have Sister Alice hand up.
Sister Alice, go right ahead.
Good night. Pastor Last verse 1, I didn't get the understanding that it was a real covenant that they wanted to make, that it was a real surrender. I thought it was trickery.
Okay.
I don't know why I thought that, because why would you surrender in saying I will serve you? Why would you want to be a slave to another nation? Simply because you're afraid to die, when you have a God that that is on your side, even though they are disobedient, but they're disobedient to God, but is willing to surrender as a slave. It doesn't make any sense. That was my kind of like my question I
But
was pondering with.
but if you consider though, Alec, if they would have gone away from God, for example, they would have rejected God in the first place and so they wanted a king, right? They would have been out of touch with God. And they would have been out of touch with God for a long time too. No, they are not in the mood to go into a war with anybody. They just wish to have peace. They know they could not win this war. All right. And if you notice, they had to send for help to come. So could it be a possibility also that they would have really signed an agreement just to have peace?
Mm-hmm.
So we could have also looked on it in this kind of way that these are not they're God is their God, but they are not the children. They don't consider themselves to be children of God because they are misbehaving, terrible misbehaving. So having faith in God would have been expressed already when they said that we don't want any more prophet, any more judges. We want a king to lead us into war. And the Lord said to Samuel, they have not rejected you, they have rejected me. So Israel is not really in a good shape. They're not in a good place with God either.
Yeah, correct. Thanks.
All right, you're welcome. And thanks for that perception that we could at least, flesh it out. Thanks again, and just bring up some more if you can. All right, thanks, Sister Alex. Go ahead, John.
Sister Sylvia,
Mm-hmm.
speaking of Samson, did he commit suicide? What are your thoughts?
Well, if suicide is self-inflicted death, well, he did say, let me die with them. So if that is the um question about suicide, yes, he would have committed suicide. Now, the nice part of the conversation of Sister Sylvia is in the book of Hebrews chapter 11. Did Samson name, did Samson name, can somebody check that? Is Samson's name, you're asking the question, was he lost? All right, I mean, somebody's gonna bring that up. I think we had it some time ago. But if he committed suicide, did he go to the, the smoking section? Is he lost? Was he still righteous with God? Let us explore this in Hebrews chapter 11. Could someone just check and see if Samson's name is there? When the writer is boasting about the people of faith, is Samson's name registered in the hall of faith?
Class,
Yeah,
Hebrews 11.
yeah. Hebrews 11.
In verse 32, it says something about Samson.
Let's see what it says.
Okay. And what shall I more say? For the time would fail me to tell of Gideon and of
Mm-hmm.
Barak and
Mm-hmm.
of Samson
Yeah,
and of Jephthah, of
yeah.
David also and Samuel and of the prophets.
So you notice, right, that Samson is mentioned in the hall of faith. The question that is always asked is, so if he committed suicide, did he die a righteous person? Now that's not like I am the one asking you. Did he die a righteous? Because his name is in the hall of faith. But let me just say something here, everybody. You see, all the people in Hebrews chapter 11, Hebrews 11 is not talking about Hebrews 11 is not talking about people who are saved. That's not what it's talking about. And we could look at all the names there and think that it's talking about saved. Let's look at verse 1 and 2, John, of Hebrews 11.
1 and 2.
Yeah.
Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
Yeah.
For by it the elders obtained a good report.
You notice faith is not about salvation. Faith is not about acquiring anything. Faith is what is used to get a good report. Now go to chapter 12, and I think the last verse. No, the first verse. Or maybe one or two. But let me hear what verse 1 says, John.
All right, Hebrews 12, verse 1.
Yeah.
Wherefore,
Yeah.
seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses,
Mm-hmm.
let us lay aside every weight
Yeah.
and the sin which doth so easily beset us,
Yeah.
and let us run with patience the race that is set before us.
Read on.
Looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of God.
So when we read Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1 and 2, about faith is the substance and the evidence and all of that, the chapter ends in chapter 12, that Jesus is the author and the finisher of our faith. But when you look at what faith is in verse 2, it's not about getting things. It's about getting a good report. So Abraham stepped out by faith, not knowing where he was going to go. And that was counted to him as righteousness. And as he walked, God added to him his cattle and his this and his that, because he's having a family and he's moving and need to feed them and he need to take care of them. And look at everybody inside the passage. By faith, when you do what God wants you to, you carry out God's will. Nebuchadnezzar carried out God's will by capturing Israel. Cyrus carried out God's will by releasing the Israelites, but that did not make them righteous. So it's not even nuance on my side to understand that God would have raised up Samson. God would have used him also to provoke the Philistines into a war because God going to use Samson to defeat the Philistines. So his name is there in the hall of faith because he carried out God's will at the end of destroying the Philistines. But it doesn't mean that he was saved. It means that he carried out God's will. And everyone inside the passage in Hebrews 11, right? And they carried out God's will one way or the other. No, we can't judge them that they are saved or not saved. All I'm saying that we cannot say, oh, because they did this, they are saved, or they did it, they are not saved. Because Hebrews 11 is talking about how you get a good report. If you notice, Samson, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to belabor this point. When we as pastors and teachers, we start to destroy the good name of Delilah. And I'm telling you, Delilah is a beautiful name. And Delilah is a good girl. Delilah is a champion. She is a Philistine. And Israel have their champion called Samson. People, two nations are at war. The girl is being paid to destroy Israel by way of Samson. She won, and the Christian church is vexed with her. The Christian church is unhappy with her. So we call her deceiving Delilah. I want anybody to show me how Delilah deceived Samson. Delilah said, I want to know where your strength is so we can beat you. Have you ever heard about the pastor or heard a pastor preaching about the lying Samson? Every time that Delilah asks, where is your strength? Samson lied. He lied once, he lied twice, he kept on lying. But you never hear a message about the lying Samson, but you hear about the deceiving Delilah. When Delilah tell the man that I want to know where your strength lies so we can win the war. Not in so many words. And then he told her, she went and collected her money and Israel lost. Then the Christian church is vexed with Delilah. Why? The girl was paid to do a good job and she did a good job. They lock up Samson and blind him. Then, when Samson was in prison, he prayed for God to give him back his strength. He prayed for God to give him back his strength. And the Bible said that he prayed for God to give him back his strength to die with the Philistines because they pluck out his eyes. Samson, in his last breath, is asking to take revenge because he lost his eyesight. He did not even say, Lord, forgive me. Please forgive me. Renew my strength. His prayer was give me the strength so I can defeat them because they took out my eyes. So he died with them. Don't look at him dying with them. Look at, did this carry out God's will of defeating the Philistine and give the Israelites a little breath of fresh air? Yes. Samson's name end up in the book because he carried out God's will. I'm not going to tell you that the brother is not in paradise or in a good place. But all I'm telling you is that if you think that this faith in chapter 11 is talking about acquisition, it's not talking about acquisition, it's talking about how to get a good report by following the will of God. And in this case, Samson carried out the will of God. All right, go ahead, John.
From Zoom, we have
Yeah.
Sister Jared. Sir, the people are lazy and didn't want to fight. And after being numbered, they were huge in numbers. They
Mhm.
wanted a king to go out before them to fight for them and don't have a mind of their own. They're supposed to lead, and all they do is follow after other gods.
I can see you chastising them, Sister Jarrett. I can see the chastisement is heavy on them. Yes. They didn't even know to fight because they said that we're going to check out to see if somebody can come and fight on our behalf. And then when they heard the good news, they tell him and tell Nahash, say, we are coming out to fight you. They didn't even say that we get in company. But anyway, they got a company and Saul won. All right, go ahead, John, if there's anything there.
Not right, no,
So
Uncle Ash.
so coming back to where we are right now with the Ammonites and the Israelites. The Israelites were there to punish, or we got instrument to punish these people. But in fact, you see the Israelites wanting now to join force. All right, go ahead.
All right, we have Sister Jade. Was Samson's downfall caused more by Delilah's deception or by his own choices?
Oh, Sister Jade. Let's go down to the passage. Let's go to the passage and look at Delilah's deception. Let's go over there. I love the question. Where are we again? Judges? Yeah, we're in Judges. And we are in chapter 14, maybe. I want to find the part where chapter 14, right? I think I want to find the part where Delilah is asking him where his strength was. Maybe 16. Yes, chapter 16, John.
Judges 16?
Yeah, Judges 16, right?
All right.
Okay, let's look at verse 1, right?
Okay. Then went Samson to Gaza and saw there an harlot and went in unto her.
So Samson made a choice. Yeah, went to a harlot. He's out of sync with God now. Verse 2.
And it was told the Gazites, saying, Samson is come hither.
Mhm.
And they compassed him in and laid wait for him all night in the gate of the city. And they were quiet all the night, saying, in the morning, when it is day, we shall kill him.
So now they're planning to get rid of him, but Samson tore off the gate and he just just walk past them. So they lost. So now the lords of the Philistines now, right? Let's read verse 4 and 5 now, John.
And it came to pass afterward that he loved a woman in the valley of Sorek, whose name was Delilah.
Mhm.
And the lords of the Philistines came up unto her and said unto her, Entice him, and see wherein his great strength lieth, and by what means we may prevail against him, that we
Right.
may
Cool.
bind him.
So cool. So that's the employment. So Delilah is fully employed. Let's look now. Let's search for a deception here. Let's see if we can search for it. Now go to verse 6 now.
And Delilah said to Samson, Tell me, I pray thee, wherein thy great strength lieth, and wherewith thou mightest be bound to afflict thee.
No, that's not a deception. It's clear. We want to know where your strength lies so we can afflict you. So that's not deception. But let's search on. Let's search on. Next verse. 7.
And Samson said unto her, If they bind
Your mic
If
is
they-
off.
if
Go
they
ahead.
bind me with 7 green withs that were never dried, then shall I be weak and be as another man.
Now you notice, right? Samson is lying. Delilah is not lying. Delilah tell him exactly why she wants to know where the strength is. But Samson is lying. Let's read on.
Then the lords of the Philistines brought up to her 7 green withs, which had not been dried, and she bound him with them.
Continue.
Now there were men lying in wait, abiding with her in the chamber. And she said unto him, The Philistines be upon thee, Samson. and he brake the withs, as a thread of tow is broken when it toucheth the fire. So his strength was not known.
So he lied. No, here's Delilah now. The other verse, here's Delilah now.
And Delilah said unto Samson, Behold, thou hast mocked me, and told me lies. Now tell me, I pray thee, wherewith thou mightest be
So
bound.
Delilah is clear. Delilah is clear. And if Samson never get it, the men came in and attacked him after he lied and told Delilah where secret was. So now we're not in any guessing game, for Samson don't know exactly what Delilah is up to. And Delilah is saying it clearly. Do I see a deception here? I see a girl telling the man what she's up to, but I see a man lying. No, let's go on now, John.
And he said unto her, If they bind me fast with new ropes that never were occupied, then shall I be weak and be as another man.
Continue.
Delilah therefore took new ropes and bound him therewith, and said unto him, The Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And there were liars in wait abiding in the chamber, and he brake them from off his arms like a thread.
Samson know exactly what the girl was up to, and the girl is telling him what she is up to. No deception here by Delilah. No lying by Delilah, but we have Samson lying. And she cannot get fed up. Right? What's the next verse now? Delilah is now fed up with the man lying.
And Delilah said unto Samson, Hitherto thou hast mocked me, and told me lies. Tell me wherewith thou mightest be bound. And he said unto her, If thou weavest the 7 locks of my head with the web. And she fastened it with the pin, and said unto him, The Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he awaked out of his sleep, and went away with the pin of the beam and with the web.
So, no lie, no deception. She's telling him, I want to defeat you. And she's not only saying it, she's demonstrating it. And Samson is escaping. This guy never pack up his bag and move out of the town and go home. He's still there because he loves Delilah. But she's not using her love to deceive him. She's telling him what she's up to. But she cannot get tired now. Right? Let's go to the next verse.
And
Maybe
she
6.
said, You want to go skip 15, Uncle Les?
Yeah, we could go.
Okay, verse 16.
Yeah.
And it came to pass, when she pressed him daily with her words, and urged him, so that his soul was vexed unto death, that he told her all his heart, and said unto her, There hath not come a razor upon mine head, for I have been a Nazarite unto God from my mother's womb. If I be shaven, then my strength will go from me, and I shall become weak and be like any other man.
So Samson now, the girl got fed up with him, telling her lies, and then he got vexed with her. Verse 19 now.
And she made him sleep upon her knees, and she called for a man, and she caused him to shave off the 7 locks off his head, and she began to afflict him, and his strength went from him.
That is all she wanted to do all this time. Tell the truth and I defeat you. He has been lying. Now he told the truth, now he's defeated. And it's not Delilah who cut Samson's hair. She called for a man to come and cut his hair. And of course, now his strength departed from him. And he lost his eyesight. So for me, Sister Jade, I do not see, but you could bring more commentary here. I do not see Delilah deceiving Samson. I see Delilah telling the man exactly her objective. And I see Samson lying. So he did make a bad choice. He did make a bad choice. But within that, I do not see a deceiving Delilah. And by the way, she has a lovely name. All right, go ahead, John. If you have a follow up on that, Sister Jade, let me know, please. Or could I would love the discussion if you want to. Go ahead, Jan.
Sister Barbie, it seems that they always use the woman to find out things from Samson. They use his wife to ask him about the riddle too,
Yes, you're right.
right?
I guess I know his weak point, right? Go ahead, Jan.
Then Sister Sylvia, why do we almost always look down on the woman? For example, the woman caught in adultery. It is always the case, so we do not take the time to see the merit in Delilah.
Look here, Delilah is a strong woman. She helped the Philistines to win a war. They defeated the Israelites, subjugated the Israelites, kept them in bondage for a long time. I mean, Delilah supposed to be, I guess they would have had a big party in the Philistines camp for her. She did, I mean, honestly, people, if Samson had won the war earlier on, Israel would have been rejoicing and praising God that they win and all of that. Come on, Delilah won. Delilah did a good job. She was employed. She never gave up the first time. She never gave up the second time. She never gave up the third time. All she's a telling man here that you're a man of God, you keep telling me lies. Just tell me the truth so I can win the thing and done. Then this guy now got so I think angry or out of pressure. And then he said, look here, this is the truth. This is the truth. And so she sent for a man and said, well, do your job. She did a good job. I mean, honestly, sad to say Israel who we love will lost. But Delilah did a good job. She won. I mean, the two nations are at war. Samson is playing the fool. And she won. Then when let's look at Samson's prayer. I think it might be in the same thing. Verse 28 of the same chapter, John.
Yes, Uncle As.
Yeah, go
And
ahead.
Samson called unto the Lord and said, O Lord God, remember me, I pray thee, and strengthen me, I pray thee, only this once, O God, that I may be at once avenged of the Philistines for my two eyes.
That's all Samson cared about in losing eyesight. He's not even praying for God to forgive him. Then verse 30 now.
And Samson said, Let me die with the Philistines. And he bowed himself with all his might, and the house fell upon the lords, and upon all the people that were therein. So the dead which he slew at his death were more than they which he slew in his life.
And so now Samson would have carried out the will of God by defeating the Philistines, finally. But he didn't have to lose his eyes. He didn't have to lose his strength, be locked up for that to happen. But his choice caused this to happen. So I will agree with Sister Jade that his choice led to this. I agree with you 100%, Sister Jade. But the history now didn't have to be like this, but his choice caused that to be so.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, anybody else? Any commentary? If not, I'm going to be, I don't want to close up, right? It's our special night to discuss Bible. Anybody else with a question? Or commentary? Tomorrow, I don't know if you have received it, but last week, we sent out an email in our mailing list. Tomorrow, we're going to be discussing the characteristics of the Antichrist, Rome or Islam. If you did not get that document, if you can retrieve it, Jan will, you could just put your email inside the chat. Jan will take that email and then send you the document. We're going to be doing that in tomorrow morning's extended Bible study at 10:30. And we're not going to have any open question. Lord, are we going to have any open question? Let me put it now. We don't intend to have an open question. If it's going to be any open question tomorrow, it's going to be Michelle and Roshana. Michelle and Roshana and Ricky, I think, will monitor to make certain that we don't go more than 30 seconds. Just in case. Just in case. But we intend to start the document tomorrow, the characteristics of the Antichrist, Islam, or or Rome. So if you want to be a part of the discussion, or even just don't forget the document to read it, that's fine. You just put your email inside put your email inside the chat, and Jan will send you that document for tomorrow. In-house people, you got your printed copy last week, so take it with you for tomorrow. And we're going to sail right through that document. Oh, I think the request was that we have the open question at the back end of everything. So we'll try our best to do that. All right, go ahead, Jan.
From YouTube,
Mhm.
we have Deborah asking, where was Daniel when the Hebrew boys were in the fiery furnace?
Right. So we know that the Babylonian Empire was a vast empire. So Daniel could have been, and more than likely was, in another section than where this was happening. Right. So the argument was that all of the lords and all of those things were to be there. Daniel is not yet inside that Babylonian lordship, though he is elevated as a Hebrew person. So Daniel is not there because Daniel is not always right there. He could have been somewhere else, right? And if you notice that by the time the Persian take over the empire, it was as vast as from India, I think, to I forgot where. Let me see if I could bring it up. Don't move, don't move, don't move, don't move, don't move. Esther, don't move. That empire, right, would have been from Ethiopia, from India to Ethiopia. All right, and it had over 107, 27 provinces. So my suggestion is that Daniel was not always where the Hebrew, where his three brothers were. And in that and as a result of that, he would not have been here. Because if he was there, he would have to be thrown in the fiery furnace too. Because I know him, he would have he would have led the march into the fiery furnace. So because the empire was a large one, he could have been serving at another place. Right? Thanks for that question and very good observation.
All right, Uncle. And then we have Auntie Angela saying Delilah means the wheaten.
Right. Did she weaken Samson? Well, she got him vexed enough to tell the truth. Auntie Andrea, look up what Samson means, if it means a liar, one who tells a lie.
All right, Uncle. We have
Yeah,
a question
yeah.
from Nell. I
Mhm.
don't remember, but Delilah ever tell Samson why she wanted to know all that she was asking or her reason for asking?
Yes, yes, she told him. She told him, let's go back there, Judges 16. She told him, man, she told him. Verse 6, 16:6.
And Delilah said to Samson, tell me, I pray thee, wherein thy great strength lieth, and wherewith thou mightest be bound to afflict thee.
Yeah, she tell him. And that's what happened, and that's what she did when he told her the truth. Right? In verse 19. Verse 19.
And she made him sleep upon her knees, and she called for a man, and she caused him to shave off the 7 locks of his head, and she began to afflict him, and his strength went from him.
He said it. She said that we want to know to afflict you. And then she got the answer and it was done. The lady put her agenda out. She gave him her lesson plan. But he was skipping to the back of the class every time till he come to the front of the class. And she did what the objective said she should do. Then she got her money. You know what would be lovely hear a pastor preach? The truthful Delilah and the lying Samson. That would make a good message. Yeah, go ahead, Jan.
That's it for right now, Galas.
Okay. All right. I am not happy to leave our sessions. You know that already, everybody. I love when we can stay, when we can discuss, but I don't want to wear us out. We meet again tomorrow at 10:30 in the morning. But if you don't have any other question, then I'll just wrap up tonight's session. And then if you won't meet us tomorrow morning, we'll meet again next week, Friday for apologetics and Saturday for another forum. Sorry, go ahead, Jan.
Auntie Andrea,
Mhm.
his name means brilliance and power.
Brilliance and power. And yet we see the character line. So even though Delilah means to weaken, it's not a prophetic name she have that she going to weaken Samson. Just like the word nod. The place where Cain went, he did not go to a place called Nod, but the place took his name of a wanderer, because the word Nod means the wanderer, land of the wanderer. So when he went there and he lived there, that's when the place became Nod. But Moses is writing after the fact, he's going to say that Cain went to Nod. So if this Delilah means weaken, I don't know if it was given after she weakened the guy, or if it was given before. But if it was given before, I could not see it as a prophetic name, because Samson's line, I would not say anything in there for liars in his name. We say bright and mighty one. All right. And we could say the same thing also for Jacob, that they call him a supplanter. But what did he do that was ever wrong? Well, tell me one thing that the brother did. He did nothing. All right, go ahead, John.
From YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
do you believe wives have an obligation to support their husbands in ministry if you don't agree with the doctrine?
Wow. So you you okay. So should the wife assist the pastor in preaching a bad doctrine? Absolutely not. No, you have no obligation to spread a lie. Well, from your perspective, it's a lie, it's wrong. No, you can't do that. But then you're married to a liar. So maybe your obligation is really to bring him to the truth. But no, you can't support a lie. You can't condone a lie. Can't sit in the seat of the scornful. Again, I don't know what a lie is and what bad ministry it is. I don't know, but just to answer the question from an objective perspective, you cannot support somebody who's doing something badly. Well, that's an
Alright.
interesting YouTube question, though. Go ahead, John.
Pastor Gunn in the chat. Blessings. If I may ask a question, I would love to know how she made him sleep.
Oh, the Bible did not say. The Bible only said, night, Pastor Gunn. I salute to you, sir. The Bible only says she made him to sleep on her lap. There's nothing else there. But if you ever follow up on it, you could always follow up on it. Or maybe you want to respond by text or voice, that's fine.
Or God bless you, sir. I was
Blessings.
just thinking about it. I don't mean to be reading into it, but
Yeah.
the fact that maybe I've never really gone into it, but just looking at it from a face value, she made him to sleep. Could
Right.
have mean that she did something to induce that type of sleep. Because if you're thinking about it, I mean, like, he was really out, so much so that somebody could be, cutting his hair. Um, I'm just thinking, saying, well, I mean, what type of sleep is that then? That you could be so dead that you're all gone, So
But
I'm saying,
but
yeah, go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Yeah.
But in this case, he's at his girlfriend's house. He's very comfortable.
Yeah, but I mean, even though he's comfortable with that,
She don't have to give no insurance, make him sleep in the lap and rock him to sleep.
it could no, but no. Okay, no problem. So even if nothing was per se, I'm not saying she used something, but I'm
Yeah.
just thinking about to say that it is. I've been to the barber and made I'm sleeping there, but you know, I'm so conscious still that I remember, you're so conscious that I don't know. I just felt like something else. I'm just reading into it without any background check to say that it is possible that something was also used to kind of sedate
Right.
him.
Right. But if we
Yeah,
if we if we even think of thinking that way, that would be quite illegal to the passage.
yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying. To me, like, probably,
The, the,
replacement theology, something like that. So trying
right.
to isolate or put in something, but just thinking about it for what it is that, if you use your personal experience, um, it just kind of look like
Right. But
not
using it
natural. Yeah,
but using the
yeah,
personal experience too,
yeah.
if he's at his girlfriend house and she says sleep in my lap, that's just good enough to fall asleep on whatever it was.
And so that you can call somebody to cut my ear off
Yeah,
without me knowing.
yeah.
Okay.
And remember this,
Yeah,
Pastor, right?
yeah,
The said night or the said time she found out doesn't mean that it's, I don't know, the pastor says the said time because sometimes the pastor are compressed. It could be at another time,
yeah. It doesn't. It doesn't.
right?
So I'm saying it could be that something transfer. It could be. It just look at Lot and his daughters. He was intoxicated. So
No, that is
I
clearly
saying
said.
right. So, but I'm just looking at it. To me, just kind of look. That's to me.
Yeah, but we
From
cannot,
face value.
but we cannot suspect the passage. The
Yeah.
Bible just said that she caused him or made him to sleep upon her knees.
Yeah, man. Totally understand.
And
But
remember now, that it is
yeah.
7 locks they are cutting, 7 locks. 7. So it's already in a bundle. 7 bundles.
All right, got
Um,
you.
if a man is, sorry, I'm just saying, if a person is asleep and his ears in a bundle, the Bible is not assuming that they're going to bald his head.
Yeah,
It's just that his ear must never be cut at all,
okay.
but they cut
Yeah,
off
man,
the 7 locks.
I got you. I can't say anything. I'm just, like I said, it's just me
Mm,
kind of throwing my thoughts around to
I
say,
understand. I
yeah.
understand.
By the principle, I can't really argue that.
Right,
It is what it is. Yeah,
right. Really, really appreciate your commentary, sir.
yeah, man. Thank you very much for everything. Yeah,
Blessings. Good, good.
yeah.
All right. Jan, go ahead.
We have Jelani's hand up.
Hey, Josh, go ahead.
In regards to what Pastor Gunn was saying, two things from my personal experience, from what I've witnessed, and also being in that place at the barbershop, for example. I know of instances where I would have seen persons that are so asleep while their hair is being cut to the point that they aren't even realize that their hair is being cut until after. Aside from that, that's a shear, right? A razor on someone's head, practically their skull. For someone like Samson now, who let's just say is not even in any deep sleep. This is locks, where, well, under the assumption this is something more of like locks, which is not really on your head, like to your skull per se. So that's easier to cut off while you could be sleeping and not be fully aware of it. That's like cutting off your clothes essentially, and you wouldn't be aware of it. It's not something that I believe personally that you would feel to the same extent of being at a barber shop when you have hair more closer to your head per se.
Mm-hmm. All right, I understand you, Josh, and thanks for that. And again, Josh, remember that his hair was never supposed to be cut. So the Bible is not even telling us what portion, it's just that it should never be cut. And to cut off the 7 locks, we know that it was bundled and 7 were cut. All right, but thanks for the contribution. And everybody, right? Just like how Pastor Gunn is reasoning, Josh's reasoning. Remember, this is a Bible study. Be free to explore. That's how we think about this, think about that. This is not the item that you bring on the pulpit and go present. But as critical thinkers, you think what could possibly happen. And the possibilities that we come up with is not for us now to distribute. It's just that as critical thinkers, we think about all the possibilities. Right? All right, John.
All right, Uncle Les, that's it for all of our chats right now.
All right, not a problem. All right, thanks everybody for sharing with us tonight for Face Facts Worship with Auntie Andrea. Went into a coveted quiz with many contestants. We're happy to have you joining us there. Auntie Alisa from our courtesy desk reminded us of our domestic matters that are happening in Face Facts. And of course, those who presented their offerings like the Spanish classes or even global design, we want to advertise for you. There's no charge, there's no obligation, but if you're in business, we want to advertise what you're doing. And for those who participated in the Face Facts Room featured presentation, we're happy to have you asking those questions, making your commentaries, and sharing your inspired thought. Again, we thank you for helping us to face the facts and forget the fictions. Just after Sister Fletcher is through praying, we'll be going over to Auntie Andrea, where she'll be singing in the background of the credits of our producers and engineers. At this time, I'm going to ask Sister Fletcher to dismiss us with prayer. All right, another problem. Let us pray. Lord, we thank you for another opportunity to study your words. And a great opportunity it is. I can say, God, that we don't need to tell you that many of us as Christians, we're not doing good with your word. We're not even doing good in the ministry that you have given to us. And there are some who we have never given any ministry, and they're out ministering. Christianity has become almost irrelevant in our communities. It appears as if that Christianity is for the benefit of some pastors. You know, the prosperity type that wants to take everything from the people. We're begging you, Lord, to help us to study your words, so that when we speak, we will speak with assurance, with humility, and with love. And we pray that as you provide us with knowledge, that you will cause us to be confident with it. But even though we become confident, help us to be humble with it likewise, not to use it to destroy people, to brag on them, or to embarrass them in public or any of such thing. But that we will become responsible for your words and to your words. And so, Lord, we bow our hearts before you tonight in humility and thank you for what we have learned in tonight's session. As we seek to leave this platform, we pray that we'll never leave your presence. And we give you thanks for your word, for your will, and for your way. In Jesus' name, amen and amen. All right, good night, everyone. God bless you. Please give attention to our outro at this time. The voice you hear is our very own Auntie Andrea. God bless you. Have yourselves a blessed week.
I was all cried out, my emotions drained from the batter of the rain. Still I remain believing. The question still remains, where are you, oh Lord? Where are you? Have you gone for a walk? Have you gone